What the fuck you mean you don't know DJ Mark B? You better preach it. Say that. Oh, you better go now.
Welcome to Preach Can't Preach with Rashad. We are the Prophet Sitting episode of the sermon coming at you from 12 Ounce Sports, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you get your listening to, Merry Christmas Eve. Is Thursday, before I guess the biggest day of the year. I don't know where you rank. I don't know where you rank Christmas Day at. But either way. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you're having a good, happy holidays as well. It's been a long week. I've been doing a lot with work. I got some things behind the scenes working on. I've been on this new app that I'm gonna plug them in real quick called Clubhouse. I've been in there all day for the last few weeks. It's part of my favorite thing to be a part of. We talk about just random conversation and stuff like that. So we're definitely gonna bring that at some point to what we do as we get along. Rashad will be here soon, I think. So anyway, the show goes on. I got my little Christmas hat. Shout out to 47 Brand for that. Let's get it on the way. So I got this about what Santa gonna bring these teams, right? But before we get into that meat, I want to talk about the NBA. Last night, opening night was, the 22nd was open night, but 23rd, most of the teams played. It was big. You had a lot of players going crazy. Tatum hit a glass shot over Giannis. Giannis didn't make the free throws in that game. Chris Middleton had a big game. Drew Holiday had a big game. Jaylen Brown went crazy. You had the Pacers with Sabonis going crazy. Oladipo and Brogdon looking into form. T.J. Warren struggled. Miles Turner struggled. But if that team somehow get it together, the Pacers could be a problem. They showed signs. The Mavericks and Suns game was fun to watch. Luka did Luka things, who I think will be MVP. I think that's pretty easy to see. With no Kristaps Porzingis, it's kind of hard, but Devin Booker, he showed up. Chris Paul had struggled a little bit in his debut, but nonetheless, we know what the Suns are going to bring to the table this year. Hopefully, the big fella DeAndre Ayton can come along and join the ride. We got Jay Crowder, that's toughness down there, and Bridges, who they drafted. He had 18. Cam Johnson, who they drafted last year, had 15. So good signs in Phoenix, good signs in Dallas, even without Porzingis. So I think it's going to be a very interesting NBA season. We got a lot of it's a lot of talent everywhere. You got the Trailblazers and Jazz last night as well. Gobert, he got that contract and he put on the show. 20 points, 17 rebounds. You can't beat that when you got the third highest contract in NBA history. Donovan Mitchell had 20 points. Not like what he did in the bubble, but nonetheless, Dame Lillard, man, that's my guy. I got the Portland hat sitting next to me, but he struggled big time. And it is what it is. I mean, you had those type of games. That's why it's kind of hard for me to bet on basketball more than it is football, just because the unpredictability of NBA stars. Today you make the shot, tomorrow from the same exact spot you miss. And I think that's what kind of hard for do like player props and stuff like that. But the Jazz played a good game. I know y'all saw the Buddy Hield game winning over the Nuggets tip in and run off the court in fashion. That was pretty good. Seeing the Hawks, man, this guy Trae Young. Okay, like as much as I love Luka, and I think that the Hawks made the wrong decision in picking Luka over. I'm picking Trae Young over Luka. I mean, if I'm making the wrong decision, that's kind of like the what's the word I'm looking for? The if I end up with Trae Young as my bad decision, that's not bad. He went crazy. All the Hawks edition went crazy. Gallinari over double figures. Bogdanovich over double figures. You had Hurt off the bench scoring. So this Hawks team, they might not play no defense, but putting up points. If they can all score double figures and Trae Young gets his 30, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough team to beat in the East. And as far as making the playoffs, they definitely probably gonna punch their ticket this year, especially with the additions they made. Um, on a lighter note, or I guess heavier note, um, Minnesota, seeing Karl Anthony Towns in his debut with the Timberwolves, not debut, but for this season, um, his first game without his mom. I thought that was very, very heartbreaking. Just to see his pain, and when for black men, we go through a lot of different stuff, right? And I'm a mama's boy, so I know what it's like, and to to have your mom be your biggest supporter, and for him to like lose his mom to COVID and stuff like that brought the seriousness to him, and how his biggest supporter is no longer there, and he has to find that motivation, that strength from somewhere else. And but he played a good game. He got the game ball, and I'm pretty glad that they did get the win. 22, 11, and 7. That's great stats right there. That's great playing. Like, that's just great for him. And you know I think he lost a couple other family members as well during this whole tragic pandemic. But nonetheless, man, my hat goes off the cat. Hopefully that his mental stability is right. Like, somebody is with him and making sure he's okay. I got the Minnesota Timberwolves hat because of him, because he also is a Kentucky guy. So that's one of my favorite players to watch. And going through that, that's tough for everybody who lost somebody in for this COVID. So shout out to Cat. Malik Beasley, man, played a good game. He got paid all that money, and I guess we'll see why. 23 points for him last night. The Pistons, can we save Derrick Rose? Can we save Blake Griffin out of Detroit? They're just over there. I don't know what direction Detroit is going. I don't like it. I don't like Rose and Blake Griffin dying off in Detroit. I don't understand where they're trying to go. So, and this is just my reactions from the first day, seeing things like that. Spurs, DeRozan, that's a baller. I try to tell everybody, man. He's one of the best shooting guards in the game. He's been very, very consistent for a long time, and I know he get the bad rap that he couldn't get over the hump in Toronto, but we all know that he's not a number one. There's very few of those in the NBA. Like, you can be the best player on the team, but that does not mean you're the number one guy. You're a number one guy. Like, you might be the number one option, but that's different. Like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, those guys come to mind. But when you see somebody like when you see somebody like a Paul George, can he really be a number one? Can he really lead a team to a championship? So for DeRozan, him and Kyle Lowry are not number ones. And to ever get over a hump like LeBron James was hard. So I don't knock him for that. I thought he played extremely well in his whole career. And DeRozan is one of the most underrated players in the league. And people want to get mad about him. Oh, he doesn't shoot the basketball. Man, so what? I don't understand why nobody's perfect in this game. Like, there's no one basketball player you can pinpoint and say he do everything great at an A level. It's only a couple guys that even close to that A plus level at every single thing. And DeRozan is not one of them, but he played a great game in that Spurs system. You're talking about 28, 9, and 9. I mean, you can't really beat that. But they played good. The Spurs looked good. My boy Keldon Johnson is in the starting lineup. I'm happy about that. Breakout player for him as well. John Morant in the same game, 44. Sophomore slump, what? Like, that's not happening to this guy. This guy is amazing. Can he bring and will Memphis out of a trying to forget about that grit and grind mentality with the Gasol, Tony Allen, the Rudy Gays, the Mike Conley? If we can get out of that and get into this new era where it's like fun and energetic, man, John Morant, sky's the limit for this guy. And can he put that team on his back? Can he get that team where he needs to go? That's going to be interesting to see. I mentioned earlier about the Tatum shot over Giannis. Some may say it's a bad shot, but when you're the best player on your team, you got to shoot it, and I'm fine with the result. And it went off the glass over Giannis, the defensive player of the year. Giannis was all up in that, and he still made it. So that's just better offense over better defense. Giannis, man, you have to make these free throws. Like, If anything, if you're not going to be a good 3 point shooter, uh, like can we get consistency on free throws? 75% to 80. That's like LeBron James' biggest knock. He's not a great free throw shooter. And for Giannis, man, if you're not going to shoot the threes, you gotta make up in some way. And just imagine like if Shaq made all his free throws in his career, he'd probably be the leading scorer in the NBA. So no, that's all different factors. A lot of other big games, man. The Pelicans, they played great. Brandon Ingram looked amazing. And if Brandon Ingram get this emergence, I said the Pelicans may not be that top 10 team to get in, but it all rides on, to me, Lonzo and Bledsoe and what did they do? Bledsoe 18 points, 6 assists. Lonzo brought in 16 and 5. So you talking about if they do that with Zion and Brandon Ingram emerging, it's going to be hard to deny them that 10th spot, a top 10 spot in the playoffs in the West. They have a really good team with JJ Redick off the bench scoring 20. That's kind of hard to beat. Wizards and Sixers, man. I told y'all what y'all was going to see from Russell and Bradley Beal. I mean, 31 from Bradley Beal. Russ had a triple double. Back to his triple double ways, and it's going to be a lot of easy baskets for a lot of guys. So I saw my boy Denny in the starting lineup, Thomas Bryant, Wagner. I like all these guys. Bertan's getting paid a lot of money to only play 20 minutes. So I want to kind of see that flip a lot. You can't pay this guy like $80 million and he playing 20 minutes. So we'll see about that. Ben Simmons, I love Ben Simmons, and when he get that mindset that he is better than most of the people in the league, like when he get that killer mentality, that I don't care mentality, then he would be somebody that's going to be scary. And if he does it this year, Sixers can go far. I think the addition of Curry and Danny Green, you bring more shooters around Ben Simmons. That's what they lacked last year. I don't understand why force Ben Simmons to shoot threes when you can just get 3 point shooters around him, because his strength is facilitating and getting everybody open shots. You know, that makes sense to me. So, no, that makes sense to me. And like I mentioned, the Pacers Knicks game, I thought Pacers played really good. The Knicks, R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle, they look pretty good to me. So, we'll see about them. And the Hornets and Cavs. Terry Rozier put up 42 points. That's nasty. So we'll see if he can continue that streak. LaMelo didn't score. This whole big thing about that. I'm not really worried about that. We had Wesley on Tuesday, and he talked about LaMelo's job is to get the people, run the second unit, get people the open shots, and get the easy dump off passes to Biyombo and Bridges and Malik Monk. That's his role. He don't need to focus on scoring. That's Terry Rozier's and Devontae Graham's role, and Gordon Hayward's role, who put up 29 yesterday. So though he don't have to be a scorer, and I think people need to realize he don't have to do that, and he can be special. Just let him develop. He's 19 years old. Relax. And on the Cavs, man, my surprise team, Colin Sexton and Darius Garland both put up over 20 points last night, and I think the Cavaliers have a great shot at being a top 10 team that makes the play-in tournament if Kevin Love can come back healthy. Well, Andre Drummond, Kevin Love, and those two guys putting up 20 with the young guns and Okoro and with Cedi Osman, this team can do something, and I like the direction the Cavs are going in. I like it, and then JaVale McGee as a good big man off the bench. I think that's pretty good. I thought Windler was going to play more a shooter, but I guess not. So that's pretty much the recap of the NBA, man. From what I've seen so far, the only person I really getting tired of is James Harden. I don't think a fine is enough when you're like blatantly doing different stuff. And you're sabotaging your team. Like, if you don't want to be there, okay, sabotage yourself, but don't sabotage John Wall and Boogie, who's been itching to get back on the court and ready to play. And Silas, whose first career game had to be pushed back because of your reckless negligence and recklessness going out to strip clubs and parties, whatever the case may be. Whether you did it or not, the fact that people seeing you out there is the problem. And when you skip or hold out for coming to training camp, being at the parties and just like this, everything you do is on you. And I feel like they should start suspending these guys because it's too many games in the season. Yeah, you can push the game around. Basketball is easier than football to play as far as just to pick up and play. But at the same time, these games are scheduled for a specific reason. Try to push stuff around. You don't want to get into the AAU tournament vibes. I don't like that kind of vibe. So James Harden, you got to do better for the Rockets. He added 2 more teams, y'all, Portland and Boston. Next week he gonna add New Orleans and Knicks. Like he just gonna keep adding teams until he run out of teams and realize that there is no trade for James Harden. If I'm the Rockets, do not cave. Do not cave. Don't go to Boston and take Kemba Walker. You take Jaylen Brown, or you give me Tatum. Oh, okay, no, neither one. All right, well, hang up the phone. Like he had Portland on there. If you're not giving me Dame, I'm not taking nobody. I'm not taking Gary Trent and C.J. McCollum, who's almost 30 years old. I'm not taking Zach Collins. I'm not taking Nurkic. No, man, no. Give me Dame. No, hang up the phone. Like you're not gonna force me into doing this. And if we lose, we lose. I don't think the Rockets should be in any position to trade him or have any reason to trade him. If you want to get free, well, with your contract over with 4 years, well, however many got. I'm not sitting here trying to recover the assets because I feel like the Rockets team, the way they're building it, is a solid foundation. When you talking about Silas, who's been around organizations like the Mavericks, around his dad, just the fact that he know how to build a team and know what works and what doesn't. So just because you don't have James Harden there doesn't mean anything. You got John Wall, Christian Wood, who I got big praise for him this year, Boogie, and just the rest of the team is and Peter Tucker, Eric Gordon. They can provide some shooting, and it's gonna be one of those years where you just get through it. And hey, if you lose, hashtag fade for Cade. That's the hashtag we going with. Shout out to Chris for making that one. Fade for Cade. Cade Cunningham, man, 6'8", 6'9" point guard. He's gonna be something special. So you put him along John Wall and this team take off. He got superstar written all over him. So James Harden want to play this hard game. Play it back, Houston. That's all I can say about it. Houston, get your act together James Harden, get your act together because you want to go all these places. You want to go win right away. I'm sorry. If I'm the Rockets, if I'm not getting a stud back, you're not getting him. So Ben Simmons, if you want to go Sixers, I want Ben Simmons. You want to go Denver Nuggets? Been a rumor. Well, I want Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Like you're not finna sit here and finesse me. I'm sorry. I got one of the best players in the game. We want to leave. Well, I want the assets for it. And I feel like what AD went for Brandon Ingram, Lonzo, and look how much success right now they're building it. Because of that, you trade Drew Holiday, get all the picks in the world, get Eric Bledsoe, had the picks to get Steven Adams. So you got all these different assets because you traded Anthony Davis alone. I'm not going to trade James Harden unless I get an overhaul. So keep that in mind when y'all thinking about these trades. You're not going to get James Harden for a bunch of crumbs and the first round picks. Picks do not win me no championship. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, we get the asset, but what you do with that pick, who you draft at that spot, that's what's going to happen. So if you think through 4 first round picks and Kemba Walker is going to get you Harden, think again. I don't know what those picks are going to be. They can all be bust, and what now? I think go back to like my Vikings trading for Herschel Walker. You trade the whole team for this guy, and Cowboys end up getting Emmitt Smith and all the other players and set their foundation up for winning Super Bowls. But Emmitt Smith was not a bust, one of the best running backs that ever played this game. And if I'm not getting that, which you can't predict that, then I'm not doing it. So hopefully the Rockets, man, listen to me on that one because, sorry James, you just got to get to the back of the bus and wait. And you want to be mad? Hey, be mad. That's all I can really say about that situation. James Harden is not the guy I want to be around and want around my organization. But at the same time, I can't just give it away from just scraps. So and that's pretty much that on that. Any other basketball news I'm trying to think about? I know a lot of people are crowning talking about the Lakers losing to the Clippers, and LeBron was tired. I think he was tired. That's why he didn't come back in. They were down 7-8 points, and he chose not to come back in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's not tired. It is what it is. You got to build that back up. I think he'll play through it eventually because it's still a long season. Whether it's not 82 games, it's still 72. So you got a long way to go. So they'll be all right. We'll see him Christmas Day versus Luka, who doesn't have a KP. So do they need him to play 40 minutes? Probably not. So we'll see about that as they continue to gel together their new team. One thing I did take away from Brooklyn's win over the Warriors was that the Warriors are not going anywhere. I said the Pelicans wouldn't be a top 10 team. I would like to quit after day one, and that's crazy. After day one, I'm going to overreact to this situation. I'm going to say swap Pelicans out for the Warriors. I don't think Curry is built to be Chris Paul or Russ and Dame. And I don't know if you want to say that's a knock or not. And if you do, I really don't care. But he always had a perfect situation around him with Clay and Draymond, the system as it was grown, getting KD, everything around you, Iguodala, Livingston, those veterans around you got you where you needed to go. And I don't know if he can will a team to the playoffs. Like, if he had D'Lo, it may be different. But he has Andrew Wiggins and Oubre. You're talking about guys who I think Oubre didn't make a three. Wiggins went like 1 for 7. They shoot all the threes, and that's not their game. And that's what they're going to do, shoot threes all game. If it ain't Curry shooting threes, who also played bad from shooting the from the 3-point line, I'm not worried. And I think the Warriors, and even adding Draymond, I don't think it changes anything. The roster is just not good. They chose to take James Wiseman, and I think they could have took Anthony Edwards, or they could have took Anthony Edwards if they wanted to score like that, and then you could have saved that trade for Oubre and got somebody else, because I don't see it. Like, and it's after one game, and yeah, they had a bad shooting night, but I don't think they can compete with the Nets, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Celtics. I don't think they can compete with the Bucks, and the teams like that at the top. So I don't think they could. Like, if we talk about Mavericks, like Luka didn't have KP. So who is his next best player? Josh Richardson. Like, and yet they still competed with the Suns. I don't know if the Warriors can compete with the Suns. I mean, you had Tim Hardaway 12 points, Richardson 12 points. That was his best players on the court for Luka, and yet he's out here competing with against the Suns, where Curry out here with Wiggins. Wiseman had 19 points. Oubre had 6, 3 for 14 for shooting. So, like I said, it's a bad shooting night, and I'm not going to overreact like that. But I just don't think the roster is enough. Maybe Draymond does change it because he is the glue guy. Maybe he does change that. So, either way, I think it's gonna be a great season, and hopefully COVID doesn't ruin it. Hopefully the players are taking their precautions, because we need. I mean, we don't need sports, but it's like we really need just to get, keep ourselves busy, keep this show going, have me something to talk about. So now I do want to talk about. Let's switch over to the NFL. What Santa's going to bring. What Santa's going to bring these certain teams. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break, regroup, and then I'll be right back. All right, man, we are back with the Prophets Pre-Care Rashad podcast. You can find us anywhere. Make sure you get to that right now. If you're watching this, go subscribe to the podcast. Really appreciate it a lot. Ratings. Hey, if you like us a lot, 5-star. If you hate us, just click the 5-star anyway. You don't have. I mean, come on. Help me out for Christmas' sake. Give me that present for Christmas. Also leave a good review. You can leave a bad one, that's fine. I'm not gonna read it. So if it's bad, I don't let that negativity get into my life. It's all positive vibes, especially during Christmas times. So let's start. I want to start in the AFC. So we got the main teams: the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Put the Miami Dolphins in here as well. The Indianapolis Colts, Titans, and the Browns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 17. Who am I missing? Also the Buffalo Bills. Can't forget the Buffalo Bills, who are balling right now. But I'm gonna start with the Steelers, man. They're on this stretch. So Santa Claus, what are you gonna bring the Pittsburgh Steelers? this season for the playoffs because they already clinched the spot. So they can lose out and still make it. They'll be the 7th seed if that happens though. But if I'm Santa Claus, what am I going to bring the Steelers? And it's simple, waltz lessons like the dance, the waltz. I think they thought they was going to waltz into the playoffs and be squeaky clean after being 11-0. That's not the case. That's not the case. You lost to the Bengals and you lost to the Washington football team, two teams that don't have winning records. And you're struggling bad. Offensively, terrible. Defensively, you let Alex Smith and Ryan Finley beat you. I don't care how bad the offense is playing. You're not letting Ryan Finley, Gio Bernard beat you. I'm sorry. So Santa brought them a 6-week class in waltz lessons because they need to learn how to. You got to learn how to coach. Like we're talking about other teams in the AFC, knowing how to beat teams, the teams you got to beat to coast into the playoffs, to coast into the 1 seed with ease. But you lost it, and now you're setting yourself up to be a possible 7, 6 seed down there at the bottom, going on the road where you haven't looked good. You have the Colts and the Browns, who are 2 playoff teams right now, and you think you're ready? You really think you're ready? Will they lose 4 in a row? Will they lose 5 in a row? And if that happens, they will lose 6 in a row. They will lose first round. Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, like you cannot run the ball. I should have gave you running lessons, but I'm gonna give you because you don't know how to coast and win games. So if you're gonna take the foot off the gas, this is not how you do it. You don't go and struggle lose 3 times in a row against Washington. You have a chance to go up 3 points and you go for it. What happens? Washington comes down, kick a field goal, beat you because your defense, who's supposed to be all world class, can't stop Alex Smith and Sims, who caught a one-handed catch over somebody. Like, I'm sorry, like you're not playing good football. You let the Bengals get up on you, and you can't come back. Bengals are one of the worst defenses in the league. They're down there. They're down their best players. No Mixon. There's no Joe Burrow, and yet you still find a way to lose the game, and that's embarrassing. And if you want to go far, one, you have to start by beating the Colts. And I don't think you do it. So that's 4 losses in a row, setting up a Browns matchup who haven't beaten you. I don't think Baker's beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers. But what Baker did finally against the Ravens, Baker's looking pretty good right now. He's looking hot. And Steelers, you looking not. So I'm going to give them waltz lessons. Pittsburgh Steelers, you need a lot of help because I think you're a first-round exit. And because you're going to, if you do win the division, still going home first round. I had no faith in the Steelers. They probably the worst 11-0 team ever. I don't know how many 11-0 teams we had in NFL history, but you're one of the worst ever, and I'm sorry to say that, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the Miami Dolphins, who if they just went out, they had to play the Raiders, had to play the Buffalo Bills. If they went out and go 11-5, I said this a long time ago. The race for the AFC playoffs is to win 11 games. You win 11 games, you should be in. For the Ravens, they have to win 11 and hope Miami do not win out. So with that, or Colts or Titans, whoever it is. So with the Dolphins, I'm giving them, Santa Claus is bringing them a time machine. Because the next 2 weeks, I think Tua we need to fast forward into time, maybe about 4 or 5 years. Let's go grab that Tua version, bring him back for the last 2 games because he needs to play outstanding to beat the Raiders, to beat the Buffalo Bills, to have that confidence going into the playoffs that we are here, we have arrived, and with Tua, can we have a better passing attack game because Nogaseki last week I think, but you got Parker, Summer Hamad, he's balling. I know no Gaskin this year. The running backs have been decimated with injuries, and yet they're still finding ways to win the game with that defense. Brian Flores, Coach of the Year candidate, should be Coach of the Year this season. But yeah, Tua needs to grow up. So hopefully this time machine that Santa Claus brings them, punch the time in 2025, go grab that Tua, bring him into the next 2 weeks, and maybe ride it into the playoffs and you try to win the Super Bowl. I think that is what, how they can win the Super Bowl. Go get a more experienced Tua. Not too much about them. Let's go to the Tennessee Titans. Man, this is a very, very expensive gift that I'm giving them, that Santa Claus is going to bring them. And this is one of the worst teams when it comes to getting after the quarterback. So I'm giving them a pressure chamber. That's how you make the diamonds and put pressure and raise the temperature to make diamonds. They need it. They need a pressure chamber. They're ranked 32nd in sacks per game and in sack percentage. They're 29th in pass defense. We know if you have great corners or corners in general, if you have the good pass rushers, you can hide the corners, and the corners getting smoked all the time because you can't get pressure on the quarterback. And Mahomes sit back there, he put up 40 on you. If you get a pressure on Lamar Jackson, he might just run out of there. You get no pressure on Tua, give him time to think. Oh, accuracy, especially the time machine one, the 5 year in advance. And even got like Phillip Rivers, like he gonna have the opportunity to find options and stretch the field. The Buffalo Bills, you don't want to give Josh Allen time, and you think you're gonna win the Super Bowl doing that? I don't care how great Tannehill or how great Derrick Henry has been playing this season. I'm sorry, King Henry has been playing this season. You need to get this pressure chamber and learn how to generate some kind of pass rush going into the playoffs, because if you can't get pressure on these quarterbacks, Mahomes, who will win MVP, Josh Allen, who's the top 4 MVP candidate, Phillip Rivers, an aging veteran, and then you got guys like the Tua who can do a little something, and Baker Mayfield, who might get his first experience. So you need to put pressure on the opposing team. Get this pressure chamber, learn how to use it. You got 2 weeks. Get it right. Let's get some pressure at the quarterback, and let's go forward and try to win the Super Bowl before you go against a profit sports rule, which is paying the running back. And I've told y'all before this, like, if I was the GM of Tennessee, I probably would get fired because I wouldn't pay Derrick Henry this season. I'll keep franchise tagging until I can't do it no more. And, if he walks, well, and we sorry. What is on me? I'm sorry. I'm out of here. I gotta stay with my philosophy. So you better win this. You better win Super Bowl now, because if you do pay him after winning Super Bowl, I can stomach that better because hey, I got a ring. Who cares? Let's go to Cleveland Browns. Santa Claus is bringing them a magic set, a magic cards, magic wand, a magician box, whatever magician box, whatever it is, because this is unreal. Like, bleep is unreal. Like, I've never seen the Browns team have the potential to win 12 games in a season. Like, not in my lifetime. And with from all the way back to Tim Couches to the Brady Quinns of the world, you finally get a quarterback who can play good football when you have the right coach. I think Hugh Jackson was fine. Freddie Kitchens was not. Todd Haley was not. Kevin Stefanski preaches stability and consistency, and that's what he bringing to Baker Mayfield. And now you see that the run game is going crazy. Baker Mayfield is going crazy as well. And this team without OBJ is looking good. Without Austin Hooper is looking good. They pay all this money for those 2 guys, and they're not even using them because they're on the shelf. And Baker Mayfield is still getting the job done with less weapons, with Chubb, Hunt, Landry, and Njoku and them boys. So using Rashad Higgins like that. So I'm going to give them magic cards because 2014 they was 7-9. 2015 3-13. 2016 1 win. 2017 0 wins. 2018 you was 7-8. Last year 6-10, and now you already have 10 wins with 2 games to go. Got to give them magic set, because I don't know what kind of spell, what Houdini trick they pulled out of their rabbit hat, because they're going to win 12 games. They're going to beat the Jets this weekend, so that's 11. And the way the Pittsburgh Steelers are going, who I just talked about earlier, 12 wins. I think Browns can do it if they get to the opportunity, especially because you will want that opportunity to advance yourself. Another team, the Ravens. All right, so Santa brought them the Ravens. So the Ravens are special. The Ravens the Santa Claus brought them 2 gifts. Okay, Santa brought them a lottery machine, because you're going to need that to get into the playoffs. Because if none of these teams play each other outside of the Dolphins playing the Bills. And the Bills already clinched the division, so they can not play anybody. And if Dolphins went out, the Colts went out, the Titans went out, the Browns went out, you're not getting in. So 4 teams can potentially win out, and without you having any kind of say-so in that. And you're gonna need a lottery ticket, a lottery machine to make sure you put the odds in your favor to get in the playoffs, because we know this team can be dangerous. But they have a lot of AFC conference loss, which you're playing the AFC playoffs. That doesn't bode well. But maybe they get their confidence back and get their health back, because with all that COVID stuff going on, I feel like they kind of wrecked their season a little bit. So give them a lottery machine. Also, a collection plate for my church goers. Y'all know what a collection plate is. What do y'all do when you get it? You pass it. Whether you put money in it or not, but you need to learn how to pass. Collection plate for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, I'm sorry, y'all are the 31st, 32nd worst team in passing. And for this MVP guy who went crazy last year in the touchdown rate, we told you that it would regress back to the mean. And what did it do? It came back down. Lottery machine and a collection plate so they can learn how to pass that thing along, because if they can't pass the ball, they have to rely on running. They're not going to win these games. And if you get behind and you have to pass, we haven't seen the Ravens do that yet. We haven't seen them do it yet. So that's what they got. So, and then the Buffalo Bills. Last year hey, Santa Claus got them guys right. We told Santa to bring them a playmaker, and they got Stephon Diggs. This year I think you can feel a little light with their gift. Santa Claus realized, hey, Josh Allen been a very, very good boy. With Diggs, like now he's his completion percentage is almost like 65, 66, and he's getting up there. And he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. He's top 5. I mean, no matter how you want to slice it, the way he's playing this season. So for the Bills, I just did something very, very simple, giving them just giving them a pass to anything they want, because they have been good. I mean, you can't really pinpoint really nothing. Like the defense struggled a while, but Sean McDermott got that right. He got a contract extension. Brandon Beane got a contract extension. Cole Beasley is playing out of his mind. He'll be over 1,000 yards. Diggs already over 1,000 yards career year. And Singletary is looking very, very good these past few weeks. And Josh Allen is putting the team on his back, and they go as far as he go. And if he's playing like the top 5 quarterback that he is right now, Buffalo Bills, man, you got to pass to the Super Bowl. Like you got it. You got what it takes to go to the Super Bowl. You got the quarterback. You got the weapons. You have the defense, the secondary to stop other teams opposing, weapons. And outside of the D-Hop getting mossed, you really should have that win. That is a BS way to lose. So I hope they learn from that mistake in that situation. And then the Chiefs, the reigning undisputed champions, the Chiefs, man. To be honest, it's so hard to give them anything, because Santa has already been so good to them, gift wrapping them Mahomes, gift wrapping them Andy Reid, gift wrapping them Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, the Honey Badger, the front office. Like, they have gotten the stadium. They've been gifted so well, and it's hard to pinpoint anything that they messed up on. They're starting to run the ball. I think they run the ball effectively in the playoffs. That's why they got Le'Veon and Clyde. Clyde just got hurt, but we'll see. So Santa been so good to them. He's been so good to the Chiefs. Everything happens. Like, Mahomes dislocated his knee and was back in 3-4 weeks. Like, Santa has been so good to them. So Santa is dropping off a nice big slice of humble pie. And as the best team in the league, I think they need to realize they got to stay humble, stay within yourself, because you need to know that you are the best team in the league. You should win the Super Bowl again. You are the best team by far. But you know that. We know that. I know that. But can you realize, like, hey, we still have to go out and play these games, because even last year in our Super Bowl run, we was down in every single game and had to come back. That is not sustainable. I don't care how great the team is. Santa's already been too good to them anyway. So get that humble pie. Make sure you eat it every weekend. On Monday morning after you get that win, you do it. You eat it, because you're going to have the bye, because Pittsburgh not going to win no games no more. You're going to have the bye. You're going to be able to rest up that week. Make sure you have a plate of humble pie, because you're going to need it, because you should be the winner win the Super Bowl. I should go right now and put money on the Chiefs to win it again, because that's how good and how confident I feel about them. And I don't want them to get too cocky, too confident, and they go around and lose the first game matchup. So, Chiefs, take some of that humble pie, please. Thank you. All right, let's go to the NFC side. I think the NFC, man, is crazy. The Bears, man, they're back. The Prophet Playoff Theory had the right team. They had the exact 9 teams fighting for that spot. The 3 NFC West teams, the 3 NFC North teams with the Bears, Vikings, Packers. You got the Saints and the Bucks right there fighting, and then an NFC East team who we thought at first it was the Cowboys. Then maybe it was the Eagles, maybe it's Giants, maybe it's Washington. We don't care about them too. We don't care about them. But the other teams, we're talking about, those 8 teams though, like they really are playing good football. Vikings are no longer in the race. That's my team. But losing to the Buccaneers and Chicago. Chicago knocked us out basically. It would take Bears to lose out, Cardinals to lose out for them to get in. So we're not worried about them anymore. And for the Bears, obviously they need to borrow the Ravens gift as well and get a lot of machine because you're gonna need a lot of luck to get in there. The Cardinals play the 49ers, who don't have Nick Mullins. He's out for the season. C.J. Beathard is not a good quarterback. He's going to play. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, there really is no pathway that the Cardinals lose 2 games. I don't think they will fold under pressure like that to lose to a 49ers team without the injuries they had. No Jimmy G, no Nick Mullins. C.J. Beathard's there. They signed my boy Josh Rosen. Shout out to Josh Rosen. Hopefully he get a fair shake wherever he lands. I hope Beathard plays terrible and Kyle Shanahan just let Josh Rosen start the last week of the season. I would love to see that. I would advocate for that as well. So while we're talking about the Cardinals, I'm going to give the Cardinals, they're pretty young. Cliff Kingsbury is one of the youngest coaches in the league. Kyler Murray, I call him the baby goat because he's so young. Outside of Larry Fitzgerald, and Pat Pete and Chandler Jones, everybody else is pretty much spring chickens. Buda Baker's young, Brian Murphy's young, Isaiah Simmons young, Christian Kirk is young, Max Williams is young. The team is young, so they still know what this is like. So Santa Claus is gonna bring them a coloring book. Why? The offense has been the same, plain, dull. Let's get them a coloring book and some crayons, some markers, some color pencils. Get them a sharpener while you're there, just in case the pencils break or whatever. And let's be more dynamic, more colorful, because if this team can take another step with Kyler Murray and D Hop and Christian Kirk and all these guys, they can do damage in the playoffs. Yes, it's going to be better about matchups, but at the same time, if they're going in as a 7th seed and they're going to play the Saints, you're telling me a Drew Brees who's not been playing good football lately. Is he the best quarterback on the field? Don't think so. Like if you want to say the inexperience of Kyler Murray will get to him, okay, well, yeah. But that's where Cliff Kingsbury come in. This is where these coloring books come in, where you be very colorful, very dynamic in your play calling and getting better, better plays and in your offense, not stagnant, and the same thing that we've seen since last year. And if you get that on board and you change the way you're running the offense, I believe the Cardinals can go far in this playoffs. And they was pretty good, 5-1 in the beginning of the season. And this is one of my surprise teams. I thought they would be more 8-8, 9-7, which that's where they're trending now anyway. But I didn't think they'd make the playoffs. I think they'll be on the outside looking in being too young. But if we're going to be here, let's take advantage of it. Let's not just throw it away. Let's get the experience and actually try to win. Go into New Orleans and win without a crowd. Like, you can do things like that. All right, so let's go to another team. I'm going to go to let's go to the Buccaneers. So all season, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady has been going back and forth. Bruce Arians, I'm not saying ruin a lot of quarterbacks, but in their first season, they throw more picks in their first season than they do in their second season or third season. So this is why I believe Jameis Winston still would have been fine in the Buccaneers. I think they still made the playoffs if he was a quarterback this year. He's not. But Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rojo's ruled out, but you got Leonard Fournette and Rojo. You have Antonio freaking Brown, Rob Gronkowski. That's AB and Gronk are 2 of the best all time at their positions. So you got that. The offensive line is looking better. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a stud, man. Just like his dad, man, for my Vikings. So, he's a problem. You got Sue, like JPP. They have either it'll be a problem. So I'm not wishing on injury, but they had him. Oh my God. Anyway, the 2 main guys though, Tom Brady and Bruce Arians. you're going at each other like this all the time. But if y'all get together on the same page, in the same book, in the same chapter, same whatever, you get on the same things and you're going the same way, you can go far and win the Super Bowl. And it's gonna be in Tampa, so you don't have to travel nowhere. So Santa Claus is bringing them a bookmark because it seems like they on different pages all the time. Y'all need to both be in the same book, the same chapter, the same page, get on the same message, and whether that's whatever that is, man. Offense court, the play caller and the quarterback need to coexist hand in hand. And if they do that, I think they win because there's a lot of mistakes that those two are bringing to each other because they're bumping heads. And Chris Godwin having a bad season night because he's healthy, in and out healthiness. Antonio Brown had a good game last game. Mike Evans been up and down. It's time to get on the same page. We are in week 15. Week 16. I'm sorry. It's time to get on the same page. So I'm giving them a bookmark. That's what they need. Let's go to the Seattle Seahawks, who probably should win the NFC West if they beat the Rams this weekend. I'm actually very, very pissed off at the Rams, but I'll get into that in a minute. But for Seattle, man, they always been Russ or bust. And Russell Wilson, I think, already has a bust waiting for him when he goes to the Hall of Fame in the near future, however long that takes. But for Seattle, I just think they need a stay-at-home doctor, stay-at-home nurse. That's what Santa Claus didn't bring them, because if they can go back to I think you let Russ cook early. That was fine. Now the defense gotten along. Now let's run the ball. Give it to Chris Carson, who need to stay healthy. Give it to Carlos Hyde, who need to stay healthy. Rashad Penny is back, everybody. Rashad Penny is back. Give him the ball. Run 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 the ball. After this week, I don't care about fantasy no more because I don't do week 17s. So run the ball, get in the playoffs, run the ball, protect Russell Wilson, protect the defense. And if you have a stay-at-home nurse who can protect Carson, protect Carlos Hyde, protect Penny from being hurt, or help them out if they do get hurt, let's get them back on the field so we can continue to run the ball. If you haven't noticed right now, I'm saying Seattle Seahawks, please just run the ball. I think that's pretty simple. We let Russ cook early. I'm gonna lose my money. I bet. I think I caught the odds early in week 1 for Russ to win MVP, and for a good 4 or 5 weeks, I thought I was about to roll in some dough. But Mahomes, Rodgers, Josh Allen took that over. Seattle's not as good as we thought, and so it's not gonna happen. But if he go crazy the last 2 weeks, I would hope, but he's not gonna do that. So run the ball, and then run the ball. And then run the ball. And then when you get on the goal line in a crucial situation, very crucial, where this is the last play of the game, I think you should run the ball, not pass on a slant or whatever. Run the ball. Let's go into the Rams, their other counterpart in the NFC West, who have a chance to win the division as well because they beat Seattle before. And Santa Claus is bringing them a drawing board because they need to get back to the old way. Start clean. You cannot lose to the Jets. I'm sorry. You cannot. It doesn't matter. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Colts in week 1, the team losing to the Bengals, losing to the Jets, losing to the Jags is uncalled for in this league. I'm sorry. They're not good. The Bengals, okay, a little bit better than the other two, but they're not. Jets and Jags are not good. And Rams, you did save Trevor Lawrence from hell from going to New York. He's going to Jacksonville now. But go back to the drawing board because I don't know what it is. And I saw a Rams fan tweet me, and he said you can tell a lot about how the Rams game is going to go from Jared Goff's first pass. And I was like, man, that is sad to say. You're talking about a guy who went to the Super Bowl, a guy you gave the contract to, and we're still talking about if he can do this or do that, and if it's going to be a bad game, because I lost money twice on them this year. Dolphins, that debacle with Tua's first game, and then the Jets game. And that sits with me, and I'm very upset about them because the moment I pick against them, they're gonna cost me money because I should have picked with them. So go back to the drawing board. Sean McVay, get Goff. What is this? I thought Goff was supposed to emerge and get better, and he hasn't. He has regressed since that Super Bowl season, and maybe that's because Todd Gurley is no longer there and no longer elite. And when you had that elite back, your system was flawless. So maybe that's what I gotta get back to if I'm the Rams. Give it to the drawing board. Find ways. You just lost Cam Akers too, so find ways to get Brown involved. What's the other guy? What's the other Henderson? Get Henderson involved. Get Higbee back involved. Higbee was balling last season. Jared Arrow was balling. Then you gave these guys money and you're not using them. So get back to the drawing board. Get back to what you know best. And first off, can you get off the field on third down against Sam Darnold and the Jets? But you can't. You got Jalen Ramsey and Aaron freaking Donald. I'm at Rams. Do this again. I'm coming to LA. I'm coming to LA. So you better not put your address up there because I'll be on my way right now. You luckily, like, I'm going home for Christmas. It's Christmas holidays. I'm gonna let you pass. I'm gonna give you a slide. But you blew my bet. All I needed was you, and you let me down to the freaking Jets. Man, you know what? Fight me. I need, like, Christmas holiday or not. We need to go at it because I'm still mad, and it kills me to this day, man, that you couldn't even cover the 4 spread, like the 3.5 that I teased over there. Like, you couldn't even do that. Like, I knew it was a trap game and not to do 12 points, but you can't do 3. You can't win the game, man. Sad. All right, the last 2 teams in the NFC, the best two records right now, the Saints. Santa Claus got a lot of gifts for them as well. They've been naughty. They've been naughty in the past. Bounty Gate. So they won a Super Bowl off Bounty Gate. So that was a little naughty. But what happened? Last 3 years, Minneapolis Miracle. The big smile on my face. The pass interference against the Rams, and then Kirk Cousins coming down your throat and beating you in overtime, being a better quarterback because somebody on your team has been the downfall the last 3 years and will continue to be the downfall, and that's Drew Brees. So with that being said, with Drew Brees being the downfall for the New Orleans Saints this season, I've already said it. He got hurt. He come back. He didn't look good at all. I think he'd be a downfall for the Saints, and I continue to say that. And I'm going to keep saying that until it happens. And I said, I told you so because I am the prophet, and I'm going to be right on this one because he has really been bad the last 3 years, and Sean Payton has dummied down this offense to just slant boy and Kamara. And that's easy to do when Thomas is one of the best slant route runners in the league. And Kamara get the ball in the backfield, he out of there. Throw the ball to him, he gone. So Santa Claus is bringing them a toolbox because they love doing all these gadget plays and for Taysom Hill. And because Drew Brees is gonna be a downfall, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to use Taysom Hill. You're gonna have to run these trick plays. You're gonna have to do all these kind of things to get the offense going. And yeah, Drew Brees, is he gonna have good games or games where he one of the best of all time? Like he's a top 15 quarterback without debate. But give him a toolbox. Give him some more gadget plays. Sean Payton gonna cook this offense up. I believe in Sean Payton more than I believe in anybody else on that team. And if that's the case, if Sean Payton can draw some more gadget plays, I like the direction the Saints can go, and they still can go far because they have a good defense. They have one of the best rosters in the league, still regardless, and that's even at the QB position when you have a Breeze, Winston, and Tatum as your QB room. Even though I believe Taysom Hill is sorry, but you put him out there as a QB option in a couple plays, hey, things work out in your favor. So Taysom Hill, man, he probably gonna go crazy. Christmas Day against my Vikings with no linebackers. That's gonna be scary. But yeah, that's something that you're gonna see. But Taysom barely played last week against the Chiefs, and maybe they're saving him for the Super Bowl. But guess who's gonna be the downfall for that? Drew Brees. Going to the next game, the last team I meant, the Packers. Being from Georgia, I've never had that feeling when you wake up and you open your door and it snowed the night before Christmas morning. Your grass is white, everything's white. You come in, you open your presents. What a great day! Snow, snow, snow. But I think that's what the Packers need. The Packers need Santa Claus to deliver snow every week in the playoffs. Why I say this? Because they get home field advantage versus every warm weather team there is. Arizona, hot. Seattle, bad weather, rainy, but it's not. There's not a team that's New York cold. Tampa Bay, New Orleans inside the dome, LA, like that's just those 5 teams and the teams we care about. So that's 5 teams right there, like who don't want to play in this cold. You do not want to go to Lambeau minus 10 degrees and think he's gonna do something. So Santa Claus, bring them snow, and they'll go to Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl is still Chiefs versus Packers this season. I think that's what it's going to be. I've already put money on that. My money, I'm out for my money at wherever the saying is. And then in the NFC East, I put them on the side, man. I think Washington is the scariest NFC East team because of the defense, but only if Alex Smith is quarterback. The Giants have played good, but I don't think anybody would be scared of the Giants. Dallas might win out, and if Washington lose one game, which they could to Carolina, it's possible. Dallas can get in there and Washington lose out. So, and I'm not saying Dallas gonna do anything either. I think they can beat Philly this weekend. But what's crazy is this NFC East. It's the worst it's ever been, yet the most entertaining. With Dallas being the front runner at first, Eagles showing up after Dallas that go down, then all of a sudden Giants win 4 in a row. Then here come Washington right behind them, taking advantage of the league and trying being 6-8 at the first place. So it's kind of crazy, and I think Washington is the most scariest team. I think whoever gets the 5 seed, we talk about Rams drawing board. You need to draw some exotic plays up because Chase Young is coming. Seattle, if you get the 5 seed, you better run the ball away from Chase Young, away from Jonathan Allen, away from Daron Payne. You need to run the ball away from them guys. They are coming after you. If you're the Bucks, you need to get on the same page and get this bookmark because you don't know about Washington. This defense is nasty. They are a QB away from going to the Super Bowl. And I'll tell you that right now. If they were somehow to get Dak Prescott on their team next year, all the faith in Washington, all the faith. I'll put all my money in that they going far in the playoffs and they can't be stopped because this defense is nasty. Is there any other quarterback available next year? Probably not. I don't think a Jameis Winston or Derek Carr can go far, but I think you get them somebody like that, they make the playoffs with ease, and they're gonna make it this year with Haskins and Alex Smith. That tells you something. Like Pittsburgh last year almost made it with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph. Alex Smith and Haskins better than that. So as a group, I still think this Washington team, the scariest team. So I'm sorry, and let's just say Saints lose out. Let's say they lose to Minnesota Christmas Day, they lose the following week 17, and they have to play the 5 seed. They better get these gadget plays right. They better get this toolbox because and pull everything out the bag because the Washington team is scary. It's a team that you do not want to face. They pay Landon Collins all this money. I was like, man, that's so stupid. But now they have Landon Collins in the back end of this defense. And with Terry on offense, Gibson when healthy, you got Logan Thomas is balling as a tight end. Washington, please make the playoffs. Please make the playoffs. So that is the episode. Christmas spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all follow us. Preach Care Preach with Rashad podcast. Subscribe to that. The Prophets. You go to @theProphetsPod on Twitter. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. And happy holidays. Y'all be safe. Wear your mask. Continue to wear your mask. And we'll see you next week. So Preach Care Preach with Rashad.